anything. And that's an interesting point that I didn't think of, is actually augmenting medically yourself with an AI device.
Yeah, but that's more fuzzy logic, I would think. I mean, that's really dumbed down AI. I mean, I know what you're saying. Would you want an AI to be making medical decisions for you that could kill you? Is really, they would have to advance quite a lot. It's like if you got the AI pacemaker, great idea, by the way, but
copyright to the bunkers.
Yeah, exactly. But if it malfunctions, it'd be I think it'd be hard to get the product on market because of testing and stuff like that.
Well, I think that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I think that's the same as any medical device that has to go through a series of
but it's making decisions for the person too, right? So,
and I think it's that fine line between like machine learning and intelligence.
Yeah, you just have to combine it with your Apple Watch, and it gets to know all that data about you, anyways, right?
But all that data is being recorded already.
Yeah, so it's just putting it into it. I don't know if I would trust an AI to make medical decisions for me, like Greg is saying. Like maybe if I was a type 1 diabetic, maybe, because we did have a guy that had an insulin pump and he fell asleep on it and gave himself too much insulin, and everybody had to come rescue him. So that, like, it sounds like I'm with Bob. It sounds like a great idea in theory. I'm surprised nobody's thought of it.
Well, I'm sure they have.
There is. So, I mean, they say it's coming. I'm not sure how close it is, but ASI, artificial superintelligence.
Superintelligence. Yeah.
Superintelligence. So
we don't have general intelligence though yet.
Yeah, but maybe it has to get to that point before medical decisions can be made.
There was like that movie or TV show where they had like nanobots that went inside and repaired your cells as you were working. I think it was like Gattaca or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's more like hive mentality. The more devices you have that are on the same system, the higher their intelligence level. That's kind of because it has more processing power. It's shared. It's a great idea. In fact, I was watching another show the other day, and that's what it was about.
I kind of like that idea because it could be dumbed down to the point where it's only making one or two decisions. It's like, if this, then that. If the heart beats a little bit too fast on that side, then adjust it on that side, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's not super.
We still are digging in the dirt of knowledge about the body. I mean, it's only been 100 years where we haven't put like leeches on anybody.
Well, we still do it in surgical situations sometimes. That is still being
right. Like this leg is the one that gets not cut whenever they send you in for surgery, usually too. So I don't know
if it's too closely targeted to one thing, then it doesn't consider other things as well. Just because the heart is pumping on one side, there's got to be an underlying something that's doing that, and it should be able to figure out what. If it is a superintelligence.
Well, maybe what it could do is it could have a communication device that could send the signal to a doctor who would make the decision.
That's true too. Yeah.
And just like a drone strike or whatever, it's acting autonomously until it has to actually kill somebody, and then it can go to the.
There used to be like a little the school special net out in Canada. I've seen it out here, where it was explaining the body to kids as like a control room in your head. And the kids eating licorice, and the brain's going, no, eat fruit. And then in the background, you see the guy going, I've got insulin, don't worry, I'll put it in. The body's going, no, you're putting in too much. And everyone's panicking because they've all got their one little tasks. He goes, oh no, he's going to have a sugar crash. And you see the kids sitting in class going like,
I know. For some reason, I was thinking of the Bunker Project because, we drink lots of beers on the show. What if you're drinking beers and your body's like, you're putting a toxin in your system. What are you doing? Right? Would we want that? Gets rid of your hangover? I mean, we've wore hangover patches. I can't remember what show that was, but we've always been into body.
Vitamin D patch. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of our best episodes.
I remember when Andrew says you put one on beforehand, and Bob goes, only one. He's like,
yeah. And those were mosquito. They were mosquito patches. That I got because it was the exact same patch, and you could get it at Walmart, and it was anti-mosquito patch, exactly made by the same company with a different label that you could buy online, and it was an anti-hangover patch, and it was like 10 times the price.
Yeah, but it's medical device.
The mosquito ones, right?
Yeah. So, actually, Andrew, I wanted to bring up, you had that company you were doing many years ago, and one of the things was that you would attach electrodes to yourself, and then it would run it through the computer, and the computer had hundreds of thousands of cases, and it would say, hey, based on this, we think you might have a problem here. Go see your doctor and ask to get tests to confirm. And I actually was there, and I did a test and said, oh, yeah, something's wrong with your heart. And I said, yeah, whatever. Didn't realize, like 5 years later, after like a year of messing around, they actually figured out, it's like, yeah, there's something wrong with your heart. So,
well, everybody that did that test, that knew what that there was something wrong with their heart, it actually came up and pointed it out. So they were like, yeah, I knew that. I didn't tell you before because I just wanted to see if this thing worked. So it was pretty cool. It was not a diagnostic tool. It was strictly pre-screening. It was not approved by Health Canada for diet. In order for it to be a diagnostic tool, it has to be in the hands of a cardiologist and approved for use.
Yeah.
In that way. But this was not. But it was a good pre-screening tool, and we sold those to some naturopaths in BC.
Does that mean that anything AI that's medical has to pass an medical exam to
I mean, it's already beat the medical exam for Harvard. So
it did.
I'm pretty sure I read about it that it scored higher on its LSATs.
Well, that's pretty easy because it's just like multiple choice.
Maybe that's law, not.
And it's an American test.
LSAT is law, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, but it was one of the higher tiered ones. It said it was smarter than like 93% of doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the AI model would have to pass a medical exam, but the model would have to pass.
I would hope so.
The clinical trials for that specific treatment or whatever it is, right?
But since we've got regulative learning, say for AI, would it be only? We're drifting off a bit, but would they have to consult with other AIs? You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing this with my patients over here in BC. Is that happening in Sydney?
Do I trust the Mayo Clinic AI versus the Sydney School of Chiropractics? Which version do I want?
I went to see a cardiologist before I started hitting the gym because I thought I'm going to be one of those white guys that die on a treadmill. So as I said, the cardiologist said to me, how long have you had asthma? And I said, I don't have asthma. He goes, no, you do. He said, there's one muscle on the back of your heart gets very thick when you have asthma because it's trying to push more blood to your lungs. No one had ever picked up my asthma before. But this one guy is just like super talented cardiologist.
Now an AI model would be able to pick that up right away, just in a simple screening, right? Well, it wouldn't be a bunker project if we didn't at least go on a few tangents, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What we did in the past.